Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. We have a lot of agendas going on in the world today, every day being pushed onto us. A lot of it coming through the media, but it turns up in films, in TV shows. It's hard to get away from it all. It's a long list of climate change, jab passports, digital currencies, technology taking away people's jobs, LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, taking the knee. Oh my goodness. Never has there been so much propaganda, but the oddest of all of these media-pushed agendas is the UFO one, the alien one. You must have noticed all of the UFO-related stories in the news. If you go back a few months, I believe back to June, there was tons of stories. There was an official document released by the Pentagon. Obama was talking about how we don't know what the aliens are. There was tons of stuff, and it's still going on. It's time to take the aliens more seriously. From The Guardian a few weeks back. And that's what the media are trying to do. Trying to make the public take the concept of UFOs and aliens more seriously. They used to say it was a load of rubbish, and now it's time to take it seriously. But why are they doing this? What are they planning? I mean, it's anyone's guess, but without a shadow of a doubt, they are raising the profile in the media of UFOs and aliens in alignment with the US government releasing documents. There's an agenda to push this place it into the public's consciousness. So I would imagine if an announcement is made in the future, it will seem more believable. Anyhow, just to show how mad it's all getting, there is a new TV show in America called Unidentified with Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato is a US celebrity, a singer, I think, and she identifies as non-binary. Oh yes, which is fine, it's absolutely fine. You can identify with whatever you want. Now, check this clip out.
Demi Lovato is standing up for extraterrestrials. The 29-year-old singer is revealing why they don't use the word alien when referring to extraterrestrial beings. Quote, "I think that we have to stop calling them aliens because aliens is a derogatory term for anything. That's why I like to call them ETs, they told Pedestrian TV.
Yes, so this is interesting. This is a whole new level of bonkers. She believes the term alien is derogatory. It's just not accurate enough for Demi. In the world of LGBTQ, where they have, hundreds of different genders and different flags for every perceivable thing you can think of, now they are turning their attention to aliens. Extraterrestrials. They don't like that term, alien. In fact, they are quite offended by it, so says Demi Lovato. And you know that this is all done on purpose in the media. Again, to get a bit of a sensationalist story, again to raise the profile, to get people's attention on this subject, to get people talking about it, so that idiots like me make videos about it. But it's also a good excuse to bring up the very obvious UFO alien agenda in the mainstream media, which has been, pushed for a good year, I would say. This quote of what to call aliens is very odd, but also it could be seen as an attempt to make them seem more real, as mad as that seems, to make people say, I wonder what they would like to be called if they have a preference. It's a way of humanizing the concept of them. But the question is why? Why are they pushing all this crapola? Are UFOs going to appear at some point in the future? Are we going to switch on the news and they'll be telling us UFOs have arrived and want to make contact? Is it all going to be a huge staged event? Is this what the Project Bluebeam NASA theory is all about? That's a conspiracy theory that's been around since 1994. I believe it originated from a Canadian called Sergei Monast from 1994. He stated NASA, with the help of the United Nations, was attempting to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via a technology simulated second coming of Christ. although some have said that it might be used to simulate the arrival of UFOs. He also stated, he said a Masonic group called 666 had for 20 years been gathering the world's powerful to establish the New World Order and take control of the minds of individuals. This was 1994. He died a couple of years later due to a heart attack, it says here, in 1996. Now, some of this talk has resurfaced of late to the point where the fact checkers have got involved, as you can see here. And the jury is in. They have decided that it's false. So there you go. You've been fact checked. It's interesting that the fact checkers would go to the trouble of trying to debunk this 26-year-old conspiracy theory, and do it now. Talking of new religions, this is the Vatican news back in June. Abrahamic family house in Abu Dhabi to open in 2022. And look at it, it's pretty damn big. Look at the size of this thing. It says here, the cultural landmark in the United Arab Emirates capital, which will include a synagogue, a church, and a mosque, all combined together. It's meant to be a beacon of understanding and peaceful coexistence, inspired by the document on human fraternity. The Abrahamic family house derives its name from the Old Testament biblical figure Abraham, who is recognized and greatly appreciated by Jews, Christians, and Muslims. It says something here about interfaith harmonious coexistence and how they are blending it all together. So this looks like an attempt at blending religions together. And this is overseen also by the Pope. Is the idea to slowly blend the religions together and then rename it as something else in the long run? Now, just another thing on the topic of aliens. You may have heard of this, maybe not, but I've always found it curious. Aliens, or greys, the way they look, the image of them, the big swollen head and the black eyes and the grey skin. The first time this particular look was reported on or featured anywhere in the media was in the late 1940s. And then more so in the 1960s by people claiming to be abducted by aliens. But what I find interesting is Aleister Crowley, the occultist, who went by the name of the Great Beast 666. I'm sure you are all aware of this entity. Apparently, he reckoned he summoned a demon in 1918. And what he saw, he made a painting of the entity, which he called Lamb. Lam, and this is the drawing he made, which looks very like the dimensions of the typical grey alien look. The one, the image we've all got used to from the movies and from the TV shows. And you have to remember, that was back in 1918, a good 30 years before any reports in the 1940s about grey aliens and what they look like. 30 years before that. 30 years before it appeared anywhere in the mainstream. Now, some people have said that maybe aliens are not from outer space, but actually reside on Earth, are actually demons or angels. Who knows? Or is it all a load of baloney? And is this whole UFO alien media coverage, is it all just pure distraction? Or are they building up to something? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is going on? As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com, a place for like-minded souls who don't follow the herd.